What's up, guys? This is our spoiler review of Shazam. So we just saw, of course, a couple weeks ago. So if you saw our video from 2 weeks ago, I think it is, we got to see the movie early access through Fandango and stuff. And so now we're waiting for today to do actual spoilers. So hoping a bunch of you have seen the movie already, and now you're looking to know our thoughts and opinions and stuff like that. So if you didn't see the last video, we did a rating of it. I gave it a 7. Bro gave it a 7.5, I believe. So we both really, enjoyed the movie. Thought there were some issues with it and stuff, though not like the most exciting movie, but we still both really enjoyed it overall in the comedy and all that sort of stuff, so as you probably saw in the movie. So now we're here to talk about spoilers. So some of the stuff, obviously, when I talked about it last time, I just, based off whatever the trailers were. So if you saw the trailers, you knew what was going on. So this is obviously more in-depth stuff if you've seen the movie. So one of the things I really want to talk about that I really enjoyed from the movie was the whole family aspect in multiple ways. So I like that the kid was brought into the whole foster family stuff, and you got to meet with all the different kids and stuff. Of course, you have a wide range of kids of different races and looks and attitudes and all that sort of stuff. So you had a nice spread of kids or whatever, and then you had throughout the movie them all learn to get together and learn the different stuff about each other, whatever, and how to live and get along and stuff. And of course you had Billy as our main character, always wanting to run away and try and find his own family and stuff, to getting the whole Shazam powers and everything, and then being brought coming back to face the family and stuff with the help of the kid Eugene, I think it was. Freddy. Yeah, I don't know the kids' names. And so he taught him, of course, all the powers of the superheroes and everything. So those two became really close, like brothers and stuff, or friends, I think they ended up saying at one point. So I like that whole family aspect, and then the parents and stuff being, nice parents trying to do right by these kids, because they were both foster kids as well. So I like that whole stuff with the kids. And then, of course, that ties in towards the end of the movie, where all the kids end up getting the powers of Shazam. And so then they all become the Marvel family, where each of them has, like a special power, usually like one of his powers and stuff, and then they all fight with the 7 deadly sins, like monster things and stuff. And so I really enjoyed that, because one of the things I always liked when I first learned about Captain Marvel, or Shazam in this case, was that he had the Marvel family, and so all these different characters and stuff that wore costumes similar to him, and they did different things. So it was kind of spoiled though with the Shazam toys for the movie, that they had all the different characters, like the 2 women and the 3 other guys, I think it was, in the Shazam costumes of different colors, and then they each came with a little 7 Deadly Sin character and stuff. So I knew by that, at least I hope, since they had the toys, that they were going to be in the movie. So that's one thing I was really looking forward to, and then you get to see the kids get the power through the staff and stuff the same way that Billy did. And so I like that it brought the kids in, so now we have a whole family of kids with superpowers, and so I can't wait to see till they either come back in another movie, or in as Captain or Shazam 2, or if they somehow tie him in with another DC movie, which I think they're kind of doing away supposedly with a lot of the whole team up stuff, at least until they can fix things. So I don't know if they'll be back in a Justice League or something like that, but I'm excited to see them back again to face another threat as the whole family and everything. So that's one part that I really liked and was interested in as well. So I thought Dr. Savannah was kind of interesting as well. Again, he was a character I knew nothing about. I'd never heard of him before this movie, and then, of course, again, same sort of thing. Seeing the figures or toys of him and stuff, I, kind of saw stuff oh, what's going on with this guy? So we got to see what his thing was, and how he was able to fight against Shazam. And so, of course, we open with the stuff of him having issues with his dad and brother and stuff, and them almost dying. And him being, getting transported into the realm, or wherever the place, again, I don't know the whole thing, with Shazam the Wizard, where he wants to give him the powers, but the kid ends up doing the wrong thing, and so is not chosen to become the next Guardian, or whatever they called it. Again, I don't remember all the details. And so he was so that as a little kid, he saw this place and he's telling people about it, and no one believes him. So that kind of fuels his stuff to want to find this place and prove that it was real, and, show people up that he wasn't just making this thing up. So he then has his, I guess, some sort of research thing where they're taking other people that have been called out to be possibly become the next Shazam, and then so they're getting all this information, building the stuff, trying to figure out where the how to get back to this place, which he eventually does, and ends up going in and stealing the whatever, again, I don't remember what stuff is or called or anything, but the little ball, and then it takes the 7 deadly sins, breaks them out of their statue stuff, brings them into side of him and then into his eye. So that's why he has the weird blue eye thing and a messed up eye and everything. And so that gives him the powers because he has all those sins inside of him, and that's what he's has all the strength and pretty much all the same powers as Shazam, and is able to fight with him. But then he can also, as you saw, bring the beast out, or the sins out of him, and create like from they're like little dust things and stuff, and form into creatures and become the actual things and fight along with him as well. And so of course we got to see them where he took down his dad and brother and stuff, and they helped as well with that, of the Savannah Industries or whatever, like was a big thing on the building. And then he of course comes in later, of course beats up Shazam and stuff with the powers. So we got to see that very so much like the Man of Steel thing where they're flying through the sky punching each other and stuff, and he just beat up Shazam and everything. And then of course comes back at the end of the movie where he's got the powers, and then because of the sins and everything, and chasing after the whole family and stuff, and all the kids get their powers as we mentioned, and then it's the kids draw out the sins and then fight with them and distract them, while Shazam fights Savannah himself and pulls out the last sin from him that's given him powers, and then I guess somewhat defeats it, but then it ends up pulling all the sins back in, and he takes the ball out of the guy's eye and everything, and so it ends up beating the Doctor that way, which felt kind of anticlimactic since it's just, all this stuff stored into the ball in his eye and not like any sort of other stuff. So it feels like you just take that out and the Doctor's, back to just a normal human. But all the sins were trapped back inside, and then of course at the end of the movie when they put the ball back, their statues form back up again, and so all the sins are back to being trapped and everything once again. So I like the whole villain of having powers of strength and everything similar to what Shazam had, but I didn't like the whole just the like resolution of it at the very end. I know you obviously have to either somehow subdue the powers or whatever to capture the guy, but I just felt it was a little bit too weak or easy of a storyline ending there to beating of the Doctor. One of the other things I want to talk about, of course, was the very end. So early in the movie, we had Freddy telling, the kids at school that he knew Shazam and was friends with him and all this sort of stuff, and said he would show up at lunch. And then, of course, Billy at this point had run off and he never showed up. So, Freddy was embarrassed and all that sort of stuff. So at the very end of the movie, Freddy sits down at a table because he's kind of like a weird kid at school and stuff. So no one wants to be around him and everything. So he sits down at a table, all the kids get up and leave. But then all the kids come in from the foster family and sit next to him and stuff. And he's like, what's going on and everything? And out comes Shazam, so him as Shazam, and tells the school, yes, I'm friends with this kid and all sorts of fun stuff. So that was fun that he actually made it back up to Freddy, and of course was acting corny and cheesy as it the whole time and stuff. I thought was funny. And then he said, and I brought a friend, and then you see somebody walk in, and then pretty much from the neck down you see the Superman costume. So we kind of got Superman appearance going in there. Of course we didn't get to see his face to see that it was Henry Cavill, and there was rumors stuff that he was going to appear in the movie, but we didn't really see anything besides this, so they could have just had someone put on the costume for it, or it could have actually been him, but they just didn't want to show his face for some reason. So I did like that they brought Superman in there at the very end and stuff to go along to make Freddy, I guess, even look cooler at school and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, that went to credits, and then I do want to talk about the mid-credits and post-credits. So the mid-credits, we had Dr. Savannah in his jail cell, and he was writing the symbols, of the Shazam thing all over the wall, and he ended up losing the thing, and then someone started talking to him about getting the magic powers and everything, and he looks up towards the vent, and there's the little worm, which we saw in the, I guess, the Shazam lair or cave, whatever, earlier in a like glass or something.
Rock of Eternia.
Yeah, Rock of Eternia. We saw the worm inside there, or caterpillar, I guess. And so he was up and he was talking, and I ended up looking up because I had no clue what that was at all. It was kind of weird. But I found out it's Mr. Mind, Mr. Mind, I believe is what it's called, which is this worm, and he has like a whole villain group thing or whatever for Captain Marvel and stuff, and has been featured in the comics. So I assume that will be, if we get a Shazam 2, will be what he's brought into and everything, and probably that whole evil villain group, and he'll have Dr. Savannah and stuff as well in there. So that was kind of fun to see again. If like me, I had absolutely no clue what that was at all, so I had to look it up. But so kind of interesting once you do to see what that was and what they're kind of leading to in that direction. And then of course we had the very end credit scene at the very end, which was Captain Marvel or Shazam going over, you know, trying to discover what powers he does have and everything. And so he's holding a fishbowl, talking to the fish and stuff. And then he's like, you know, makes Freddy think he can talk to fish, but then he doesn't stuff. And he's like, what good is even talking to fish doing? And Freddy, who's wearing an Aquaman shirt at the time, is like, you know, you can control, you know, thousands of creatures and stuff, referencing the Aquaman movie where, of course, they had the big battle scene there at the end and everything. So I thought that was kind of fun, you know, taking a dig at Aquaman. Of course, everyone makes fun, oh, we can only talk to fish and stuff, and so I was kind of digging at that there, and I really enjoyed that part of it as well. So I don't really know of anything else to go off of. So that's going to be, I guess, for our spoiler, you know, talk about the movie and stuff. So I hope now that you've possibly seen the movie, now that's, you know, on the actual release date and everything, that you enjoyed the movie. If you did, let us know in the comments down below. You can say whatever you want to about the movie down there. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.